Hey everybody, welcome to FabFit Friday. I've been working on my shorts all week, and I have to admit I'm enjoying the process of, taking them out, looking at them, doing part of it, working on a certain detail, putting them away, taking them back out, working on them. And I'm finding that I'm getting really good results with the parts that I'm finishing because I'm not rushing, I'm taking my time. And then I was thinking to myself, I need a top to go with these shorts. So, as luck would have it, I had this huge scrap of fabric that I had in my stash, and I acquired it as a scrap, so I didn't make anything out of the whole yardage, but I thought there'd be enough to make a sleeveless tee. So that's what I'm going to show you today, and I thought it would be fun to sort of look back at the first pattern I ever designed, and it continues to be one of my most popular patterns in my collection today. And I think the reason for that is it's so versatile. So I'm going to talk about some of that as I share some of these things. I'm going to stop and say hi to Cindy. Welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to just stand up here and just show you. I'm wearing one of my tees, and I think you can see, if I get in really close here, you can see that it's got an above the bust seam. And then for this version, I actually cut the lower bodice piece in half so I could make a chevron stripe out of this urban rib knit. And I decided to get rid of the side front piece. So I just made a big scoop and I connected the side front to the center front. So this is one of the versions of my tee, and I'm just going to turn around and show you the back. So I did the same thing. Okay, and then on the bottom, I am wearing, I think you can see, I'm wearing a pair of my knit pull-on shorts. Now this is a breezy quick version. I'm just going to show you. There's no pockets, right? It's just a waistband, and it's really comfortable French terry. Okay, so if you need comfortable shorts, I can't say enough about my pull-on shorts, my pull-on pants and shorts pattern. So definitely, if you've got that in your stash, haul it out and make yourself a pair, because the shorts pattern or pants pattern is really cool. It's easy to fit, and I'm so comfortable. So this is one outfit, and you'll notice there's no black, right? I'm trying to get away from black. Let me just stop and say hi to Janie. Hi, Janie. Oh, Andrea said that's my favorite pattern. I'm glad that you think so. Yay. Cindy says that's cute. Janie also loves that pattern. And Tana says, I've been admiring that top on you. You two could make this top. So, and I'll explain the differences between this top and the original pattern pieces in a minute. But basically, I want to show you the evolution of my pattern. I have been making this tee pattern since I published it in 2007. So in a few years, it'll be 20 years old, and it continues to be one of my workhorse patterns. And one of my favorite comments I get from people when I see people at, larger shows like the National ASG Conference or, So Expo or one of these bigger shows, people will come up to me and they'll say, I love the tee because I can make it up in so many different ways, right? So that's what I love about it too. There's so many pieces. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. Let me just stop with Bonnie. Blue. Yes, I have blue. It's blue. It's not black or navy. But Mary, did you see my shorts? I'm going to show them one more time. French terry shorts that I made, and they're red. Woo woo, red. So comfortable. I am so excited about these. Fitted. This is like a dressy yoga pant, really. It's not snug, so there's no issue with, it hugging you. But it's fitted and it's comfortable. This is no pockets. I wanted to make a pair. Literally, I made these in 30 minutes, right? So if you want to put pockets, you can absolutely add pockets to these shorts. Bonnie. I understand. No, you can't have it without pockets. Next Friday, I'm going to show you an easy hack for a front pocket in these shorts, and it would be like a jogger style front pocket. So it's almost like it has a cutaway, not a cutaway, but it's got a, it's got a front pocket opening with a bag. So basically, I'm going to share that next week. So I'm going to make another pair. So this was just quick and quick. I just wanted to make a quick pair of my pull-on knit shorts while I'm laboring away at these. So let me talk about these, and then I'm going to talk about the tee pattern. And we're going to do sort of a walk through history of my tee. All right, so let's look at this. Ooh, let me just make it a little bit brighter. Everyone close your eyes. And then I'm just going to lighten this up so you can see what's going on here. Okay, so these are the shorts I've been working on. And if you remember, I was talking about the hem and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I wanted the orange to show through. So let me just show you this here up close and personal. Let me just zoom in so you can really see it. Okay, so this is what I decided to do for the hem. And I created a vent, and I purposefully made the part that folded out. This just folds out from the wrong side. I didn't fold it under to make a clean finished edge. This one I folded under. Or did I? No, I think I just trimmed it. But basically, I wanted it to peek out even if it was shut like this. So that's the vent that I decided to do. And then I hemmed the shorts. So basically it looked like this, right? And then I cut it. I cut it about 1/8 of an inch away from the folded bottom edge so the orange would peek out. So I'm really happy with with that. And of course, that goes hand in hand with my my back welt pocket. So Mindy, if you missed last week, I did show how to make these welt pockets in the back of these shorts. So this is my detailed version of the shorts. If I turn them inside out, I want to show you my pocket bags. I'm not 100% happy with what's going on back here, and I just want to explain to you what I'm going to do. So after I sewed them, I clean finished around the edges, and then what I realized was, and this doesn't look super neat, it's not even, this top stitching that I stitched through the top or the right side of the shorts. The reason why I sewed the pocket bag down was because when you do that from the right side, let me just show you. Because it's attached here, where I sewed it down here, when you pull up on it, it doesn't pull the pocket bag up. So stitching it down to itself, okay, like that, just holds it in place. So like if I sit down and I stretch the butt out, I'm not going to be showing a lot of the pocket bag. So that's why I sewed around the pocket bag. And the other thing I think I'm going to do, because here's another issue I'm running into, I was going to finish these and model these for you today, but after in the front, I made 2 buttonholes and I cut them open after I fray checked them. Okay, so those are ready to go for the drawstring. I serged the elastic on, so I've already serged the elastic on, and I folded it down in place. But in the back, what I was noticing is, see how it's drawing up the, I want this to lay flat, right? I want this to be flat under there. But what's happening is it's getting bunched up. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch it flat. I'm going to continue this seam and I'm just going to stitch it straight up so it holds it flat like that. So then when I go to sew it down, it will gather a little bit, but it'll be evenly distributed. So that's how I'm going to finish the tops of these pocket bags that go into the that go into the waistband casing. The other thing I want to say is I used silk charmeuse for these pocket bags, so they feel really nice, and the linen feels really nice. So this is just a really nice feel back here. I mean, obviously my underwear will be between these pockets and me, but still, it's a nice lightweight pocket bag. It doesn't show through on the right side, and I'm pretty pleased with the way the pockets are. So I did do a back pocket, Mindy. Maybe I'll do another version that's a patch pocket on another, like on another version. Let me just move myself over here for now. But basically, these shorts are going to be almost done. And then I was also thinking about how I could make a 2-color drawstring. And what I ended up deciding to do is I cut myself a 2-inch strip. I folded it in half, and then I sewed it into it. Oh, first what I did was I sewed orange to blue. So you can see here, see how I have, let me just get this really sharp so you can see it. Maybe a little brighter here so you can see. Okay, so what I did was I sewed the orange and blue right side to wrong side, and then I folded it, made a tube. And my idea was I would have little tips of orange on both sides, because before I turned it to the right side, this orange piece was probably only about this long, and then it stretched in the process of turning this to the right side. Look how long it got. It got to be like more than twice as long. Like the whole waistband got twice as long. You know what I mean? So I've got this big long waist drawstring now. So I think what I'm going to do is I will have one orange and one blue. So that's how I'm going to have my waistband and my drawstring. And I'm just going to have one more pop of orange color here. But it was shocking, literally, to snake this through. I used an unconventional method. I didn't want to fuss with my tube turner, so I took some of this cotton lace weight yarn. It's very strong, and I sewed it to the tip of the tube, and then I used a big safety pin to push it through like old school, and it worked great. So this is going to be my drawstring, and I do like it finished. It's a nice drawstring, and it looks like it's tubular because the surged seam allowance inside is filling it like a stuffing. So this really makes a nice drawstring, and I do have that the color change here, but I don't think you'll see the color change. I think I'm gonna do it so it sticks out orange on one side, and then blue will be the other side, and those will be my ties for my shorts. So that's going to be my tie, and of course, after I sew the tops of these down flat, I'm going to finish the waistband by stitching it on with a 3-step zigzag, and then these shorts will be finished. But I'm really, really pleased with these, and I'm glad I took the time to make each detail look nice. I love my hem, so I'm like super excited. Oh, Shannon says, I never thought about the elastic bunching up the pocket. I was worried about it a little bit, but in my head, I honestly thought it was going to be, well, the actual pocket is away. The actual pocket's down here, but I also I don't want this to be hanging out, because then, I'd have to sew it to encase all of the other stuff that's there. So I am just going to sew it. One of the tricks is, the reason why I can make this work is because doesn't have to stretch that much. I made sure that these shorts fit me almost perfectly around the waist, and the elastic is just a little bit to snug it up. There wasn't a lot to ease in here. So you can see there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of gathers in the waistband. Oh, Tana wants to know if I could double the drawstring up and have 2 ends one of each color. I am going to have one of each color. I don't have to double it up. I don't think I have enough. Oh, well, maybe I do. I am shocked how much this grew. So, all right, so see, look, I folded it. This is 8 times, and it's still almost a foot long. So doubled. Let me see if I can wrap it around me doubled. Yeah, I could do a double waistband Tana, but then I would have three blue ones and one orange one if I double it, but it literally grew almost twice as long as the original knit when I had to pull it through, and then it keeps snaking it and pulling it through with the safety pin I was using. So I will have one of each color. Maybe I will double it up. Who knows? But I have that ready to go. I'm just gonna sew these down and finish this. So when I was thinking about this as an outfit, I looked in my stash and I had this scrap, and you can see, I think you can see, that I think goes really nicely with the shorts because there's some orange in it, there is some blue in it, different blues, there's some, you know, all kinds of different colors. So I think this and this is going to go nice together, and there's only a very minimal amount of black in it, Mary Smith. See, so there's little pieces of black or dark charcoal, but mostly I think that's a pretty good color. So what I want to show you now is, let me show you, I'm going to put the shorts away because I am going to finish those. I'll model these for you next, week. So let me just put those away with the drawstring for now. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is, what do I want to show you next? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back here. So the next thing I want to show you here is my original pattern. I think now I have to make it bigger and also a little bit darker so you can see it. Okay, so you can see back when I published this pattern, I got it printed at McCall's. And so it's on the original tissue you're used to for big box stores. And I don't know if you can see, but the grading, I had this graded in New York, and the grading sucks. Like, it was not very good grading. Like, it's very wobbly and uneven. So I ended up redoing that when I sold out of the printed ones from McCall's. I repackaged it and I redid the grading and I made it nicer, and I made some improvements. But this is my original pattern. I thought papyrus font could be my logo. So this is like very nostalgic for me. But you can see the first things I did to fit this was I needed to do a full bust adjustment. That was the big one. Let me put the sleeve. I don't need the sleeve. And here's the cap sleeve. Now, you'll notice I added to the cap sleeve because I added to the height by extending the armhole that much right here, see? So this lengthening there was also on the sleeve. So let me put that sleeve down. So basically, let me show you this. To do a full bust adjustment on this pattern, this is the lower front bodice. And you also need the, I'm going to fold it in half to make it easier. You need the side front piece like this. Okay, and the way you do a full bust adjustment, you need to, you know, almost pretend this is one piece for a minute. You're going to draw your line through both. I went about I don't know, a little more than an inch below the top curved. I cut it there. I spread it the amount that I spread it here. And then I lowered it, and also I lowered it almost an inch. And then to fill it back in, I also had to add this little bit here. So this was my full bust adjustment. That was the first thing I did to this pattern to get it to fit me. Because if anybody is wondering, I do not make patterns that fit me when I draft patterns to sell. Because if I made them fit me, only they would only fit linebacker shapes because I'm basically very broad and very large and everything's big. So I always have to adjust my own patterns after I draft them and design them into something for my collection. This goes on here like this. So there's the center front piece is here. Now you can probably see the bust dart is hidden in the style line, right? So this is a very fitted top. This fits like a base layer or a snug tee. But I'm going to show you the evolution of how I made this less snug in a minute. But I just want to show you, this is the center front, side front, lower front piece. Let me just stop and say, Hannah says, wow, Jen, lots of work goes into your videos. Love the demonstrations. Well, you're very welcome. Oh, and Mindy says, shorts are lovely. They will be a great outfit. And Mary says, gorgeous colors. Yay! So see, I'm super excited. Well, honestly, I love teaching and I love making videos. So, you know, this is my favorite thing to do. Teach, make videos. And also draft patterns. I love to draft patterns. All right, so to go with this, the back, let me show you the original back. I don't think I have the original back. Here is what the back piece looks like. And here is the upper back. Okay, so you can see this was 2012. I was working on this version. Okay, so this is actually obsolete now. This does not fit me anymore. So, oh, hi Bridget. Oh, don't worry about being late. I'm just showing you the evolution of my tee pattern, my personal tee patterns that I've been working with. So basically, I probably could almost get rid of these now because these are old from 2012 and they don't fit me anymore. I was very thin back in 2012. But basically, that's what the pattern looks like. Now, you're going to notice here, I had slashed it. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. This has actually been let out a little bit, and I'm going to talk about that next. So these are my original pieces. And I'm going to keep all this together just so I keep everything organized here. The next thing I want to show you is let me just get all of this stuff. All right, so now this is what the lower back looked like originally. You can see it's very fitted and there's, you know, it's very thin, it's very fitted. Oh, bye Cindy. She has to run, but she'll watch the replay. Thank you for coming. Okay, so what I decided to do after I started to get a little bit fluffy in the tummy. Let me put it that way. Oh, Tiana says, is the back yoke just a design element or for another purpose? It's a design element, but it gives you a lot of options. Like, remember the back of this tee, I was able to cut it in half and make it chevron. See how it's chevron back there? So it gives design opportunities. Jojo says we all were good old 2012. I know. So I started slashing and spreading it to make more room because I realized a few years after I designed this pattern, it was too fitted for me. I started to develop a little bit of a tummy and I didn't want it to cling to me. So what I did was I slashed and spread. Now I have a video on my channel and the name of the video is, Does Ease Need to Be Evenly Distributed? And that video was an illustration that you don't have to make multiple slashes on a shape like this that's all attached to one seam here because it looks exactly the same. So what I realized was, if anybody's interested in looking, here is my test. You can see here I just slashed it right here one time to make ease in the, or a relaxed fit like that, versus slashing it multiple times. Okay, so in this example, to make it more relaxed, I spread it here, I spread it here, I spread it here, and I also spread it here up to nothing at the top. These look the same if you sew them up. So I've changed from, you know, doing multiple slashes, which uses a lot of Scotch tape and a lot of time, to one slash. The result is the same. So I wanted to explain that to you. And I learned that when I did an ASG event in Florida. Kathy Ventura is the one that told me that I could just do one slash. So I trusted but verified. And so there is a tutorial for that. Diane says, I still love the bias cut fabric we made out of the material for this pattern. Oh, the one I'm wearing, Diane, the bias cut one. Yeah. Okay, Mary says, I often straighten the side seams on tops. I've never had a defined waist. Well, Mary, guess what? That's what's up next. Let me show you. So all these patterns I've been showing you I have made many of these tops. And I want to look at where I am now. So I traced what I just had. And then look what I did. I straightened out the side seams because I don't have a waist either. And this is much more attractive if you don't have a defined waist. Straightening it out. So basically all I did was start here and at the original hem, and I just straightened it. So here is my straight side seam version of this pattern. So these are the lower pieces, and these are the biggest pieces for this top, obviously. So I've already cut these out, and what I want to show you now is, I'm going to go back to my face camera here. I'm going to bring up the front, and let me just show you here. You can see that the scrap of knit that I have to work with is, it's a very, well, it's just leftover from a project. And like I said, I did not do this. I got this scrap like this. So it was gifted to me, and I kept it in my stash because I thought it was cool. And basically, I was able to cut out the lower front piece like that. And what I did was, to make sure it was straight, I followed one of the stripes on the fabric, and I made sure I followed it from the center at the top of the piece to the center at the hem. And just fun fact, I am cutting this fabric out sideways. You can see the salvage edge there at the bottom near the hem. Okay, so I cut out my front, and then I also cut out my back. All right, and you can see I had to waste a little fabric down below the hem to get it to fit. So I have a bunch of scraps left to cut out the rest of the pieces. What do I have left to cut out? The upper back, the center front, and the two side front pieces. So I want to talk about that next. Put that away. I'm going to go back down here. So I've already cut out these pieces. I'm just going to put those down here as well. I don't need that anymore. So the next thing I want to show you is, this is my back piece. Now for this back piece, during one of my versions, I actually filled in and made a longer shoulder seam at the neckline side. And that was primarily because I have a giant bra strap on my sports bra, so I wanted to make sure it did not show. So if you look at this, you can see that's pretty wide here, you know, if you're looking at me. And sometimes I like to have a wider, a wider shoulder seam, so I just filled it in there. And then what I did was I traced half of my front. So this let me get a different color here just to show you. This was the original half of a center front, this green line right here. So I just traced a copy of it onto this oak tag. Okay, and then the side front piece fits right here. Now I am happy to say that this is from 2015 and I can still work with this now. I haven't really changed shape on top. It's more of my, from my midriff down that I've gotten larger. So, I don't need to, these pieces have been the same since 2015, which I guess I'm kind of proud of myself. Now, what I did was I overlapped it. So the seam allowances, so it would be about almost 3/4 of an inch because 2 3/8 inch seam allowances. So I overlapped it. It sticks out a little bit. And then I put the back up against it like this to make sure that whatever I drew matched. This was a boo-boo right here. This is a boo-boo. But basically what I'm going to try to do now is design a new upper center front piece. And what I thought might be kind of cool, I do have 2 options for you if you want to play with changing the neckline on the tee. I have a workbook. It's called Beyond the Boat Neck. No, I'm sorry. It's called the Tee Neckline Workbook. It's in my online store. And of course, I didn't put a link to it, but I do have, it is on my website. So you can follow along the instructions in that workbook to make like 5 or 6 different necklines. There's a V-neck, there's a crossover one, all sorts of things. But basically, I show how to do it in the workbook, and then I also have a class on pattern review called Beyond the Boat Neck, where I show you in video form how to change the neckline from the basic boat neck to all these different styles. So the premise of that is you want to start with a half. Okay, so 1/2. And then you design it, and then you either make a full copy, or in this case, I marked this is my center front right here, this line right here. So what I'm going to try to do for this one is make a crisscross or wrap top center front, but instead of having it go into the other seam, I'm just going to have it end like somewhere right here on the other side. Or, you know what I should do? I should have it catch into that seam now that I'm thinking about it. Can I do that? I think I can. So see what I'm saying? So this whole piece crosses over center front. I've come to a point here, but now that I'm looking at it, what I really want to do, let me trace it onto a piece of paper. Hold on one second. Sorry, this is wrinkled. Let me just trace this because I have a better idea here. Let's try this. Oh, let me just stop and say, Victoria says, gotta go back and watch. I took a day trip to Virginia to North Carolina today. I got my first cataract surgery yesterday. Everything is beautiful. Oh, Victoria, I'm so happy everything is beautiful. Thank you for letting us know. And Andrea says, the additional necklines are so much fun and the pattern review class was wonderful. Well, there you go. See, Andrea took the Beyond the Boat Neck class and she liked it. I'm so happy to hear that, Andrea. All right, I'm just going to trace this. It's a little bit hard for me to see, but I'm just going to trace it. Let me just trace this. This was a piece of pattern paper I had on my floor and it got kind of messed up here. All right, let me just do that. And then I have my shoulder. And let's just trace it like this, right like that. All right, so that's the piece that I have here. But oh, wait a minute. I just need to mark one more thing. Hold on. Hold on. This is important. I have to have my my center Center front's important if you're going to cross over asymmetrically because that gives you a reference for what's happening. So that's my center front line right there. How do you get the pattern review class? Is it on your website? It might be on my website. I'm not sure if I finished adding all of my online classes onto my website, or if you go to patternreview.com and go to their online classes, I'm listed in there. So it is there. And there's, like I said, there's that option, or on my website, I have the T-Fit workbook, which is basically a printed version of the class. So either way. Okay, so so now what I'm thinking is, I'm going to fold this like this. So I'm folding it on my center line. And then what I'm going to do is, now you have to remember, there is a 3/8 inch seam allowance here, right? So this already has like a 3/8 inch seam allowance right here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut this out like this. Make sure I'm not cutting. Okay, I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to cut this, and I'm going to open it. So see, what that gives me is, if I just move this out of the way, that gives me the length to catch it onto the other side. So I can have one going like this, and I can have one going the other way, and it'll catch into the seam. So let me just finish drawing this detail. I'm just going to use this. So we'll just have it go like straight across like this. All right, so now if I cut this out, like this, and then what I'm going to do, just to show you, let me just make another copy of it. I just want to show you how it's going to look here. Oh, and I will say, if anybody wants to make these new necklines, I highly recommend making it as is first, so you can be sure that it fits you before you start changing the neckline. So I'm working with a tried and true pattern. I know my pattern fits me, so you really need to make it up first. So if this pattern is new to any of you, get the pattern first, make it up, and then you can play with the necklines. And actually, if anybody wants more detailed, if anybody wants more details on how to sew it, I do also have a class on pattern review that shows you how to fit and sew the tee start to finish as well. So the boat neck class is on there, and also the other thing. And I'm just going to put here, it's patternreview.com. That's where the classes are if you want to take them. So I'm just going to cut this out here like this. Oh, and Pat says, joining late for no Black Friday. Oh, speaking of that, wait, I have to tell you guys something. This is so funny. I have a friend, Richard, and you might have seen me on Instagram do some funny videos with him. He's from Nigeria, and he's all about doing these funny little skit reels and little shorts and videos and things. So sometimes I'll do a video with him. But I was hiking with him this morning, and he says to me, I was telling him how I was prepped for FabFit Friday. He goes, I think you need 5 Fs. He goes, how about freaking fabulous FabFit Friday? So he wants me to change the name to that. So I don't know, maybe you guys can chime in on whether I should be calling it FFFFF or just FFF. So I just thought that was kind of funny that he He had all these ideas for me to change my FabFit Friday to freaking fabulous FabFit Friday. And then speaking of my channel, I am less than 100 away from 50,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody who's watching and everybody who follows along with me. That's so exciting. And I guess I have one final announcement while I'm cutting here. I only have one spot left in my pants fitting class in August. So I have 9 people registered. There's one more space. And I've gotten a few emails from a couple of different people who are interested in coming. So if anybody is interested in coming, now's the time to register, or it may be actually sold out. So I just wanted to mention that to all of my friends on my YouTube channel. All right, let's get back to this. Now, it's important for me to make sure I mark the center front through to the other piece, because that's how we'll match it up. So let me just draw this. Oops. Okay, so there's my center front, and this is my center front. Okay, so now this will go together like this. So it'll look almost like a crisscross V. Isn't that cool? And then the side front piece will catch the end of that in the seam like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, Leah says, love the 5 Fs and congratulations. Oh, thank you, Leah. Also, Leah, thank you for helping me try to troubleshoot my drawstring, and actually it was because of you that I decided to sew it on the serger. So you were involved in my decision-making process to do a serged tube and then turn it to the right side. I was worried that the edges would degrade if I kept pulling on them. So anyway, but see how cool this is? So I'll have a thing and a thing. So looking at that now, I'm wondering if, tell me what you think, what if I cut out, all right, now let's look at this for a second. This is why this T pattern is such a fun pattern to work with. I can get my, let me get my piece I already cut out here. So this is my lower front. Now you can see I did consider a little bit. You'll notice like these big circles are not in line with my bosom. Okay, so I think I won't have any blinkers. This one's a little bit close. Oh God, I'm hoping. Let me just hold on a second. After I cut it out, I'm like, am I gonna make a blinker? Let's test it. Hold on. Oh yeah, see, it's gonna be okay because they're slightly off to the side. So see, this is slightly down and out of the way here. It won't be blinking right on me. All right, I think it'll be okay. After I cut it out, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, I hope I don't make a disaster with the print. But basically now, what I'm wondering is, I've got this like this. What if I took this bottom, and then let's say I had this here, and what if I cut this out sort of on the bias like this? So the stripes are going in a slightly different direction. I'm going to put this under here like this. So what if this one was like that? Oh, wait a minute. I might have to decide to cut one of these. Let me see, will it fit on here? I think I'm going to have to make some sort of decision on something because, oh, the first thing is this piece right here. Let me just back up for a second. When you're working with scraps, you have to make sure that you have all the big pieces taken care of first. So this is the biggest scrap I have left. Now, if I decide to just cut it out as one piece, I could just cut it like this, but if I cut it straight, it's going to, oh, I have a bunch of scraps. All right, hold on one second. Where's my, oh, it must be this one. All right, so this is my, okay, that's my front. I'm going to hang it on there so I don't lose it. And then where's my back? Oh, okay, so this piece that I'm showing you that I'm going to cut on is my back piece. So see how this can be dangerous? This is my lower back piece. I'm not going to cut that. So if I put, where was the other piece I had that it would fit onto? Was it this piece that it would fit onto? Nope. I had another scrap somewhere. Must be, hold on, it's probably right here, hold on. All right, so this is why we have to be careful when we're working with small pieces, because where I cut this out, did I cut it out of this? Hold on one second. I don't want to make a mistake. Oh, here, it's this piece right here. Okay, it's this piece right here. All right. It's this piece right here. Let me move this out of the way. All right, this piece right here was the piece I had saved. Okay, that will fit. Oh, Bridget says, I remember avoiding buying a fabric if it has blinker potential. I know. I just thought this was so cool, and it goes with my shorts. So my point is, if I cut this out of this like this, because it does fit on this piece, maybe it fits the other way, whatever. I think the back will be kind of boring because I've got my stripes going in the same direction. So I really don't want to do that. So I think what I might do is, if I get, like, say, this piece, maybe, without getting too crazy here, maybe what I'll, oops, my yarn, get my yarn out of the way. Maybe what I will do is cut this one out on the bias, like this. So if I cut this one out like that, then the stripes will be like this. Let's see if we like that. I'm just going to put this up against this. So see, we can have it be a little bit different, but looking at that, it kind of looks like a hot mess. So I'm not sure what I want to do here. I could fold this in half, cut it on the bias, but add a seam allowance and sew it together like I did for the top I'm wearing. So you see my point. There's all kinds of things we can do with this pattern, because I can cut the pieces that are full fronts and backs. Yeah, Mary says, don't make it too busy on the eyes. Yes. So that brings my next option. My next possibility could be, and I don't know if it's going to work, but I would like to maybe try it if I can find it. Maybe I could cut, maybe I could cut the back out of that. What did I do with my leftover scrap of that? Hold on, I gotta find it. All right, I know I have another piece of this fabric. I have just enough that I was thinking I could incorporate. Well, let's just use the short since I don't know where my scrap is. But my other option is I could cut out, like, do we think that would be nice for the back? I don't know. Oh, Janet is saying, what about piping? I could do piping. The only thing is, if I include this fabric in this tee, I don't want it to look like it's a matchy-matchy set, even though that is a thing this year. I've noticed that people are making match sets. I'm not a super fan of match sets, but I'm wondering if I could use this fabric. You know, all right, so I think I'm getting a little crazy with my, I think all right, I'm going to just make this like this. I'm going to make it straight. So maybe what I'll do is I will, let's see, where's my little rectangle? Is this my rectangle? Maybe it's interesting enough that it's a little offset. So see, I've got the major stripes here, and then the major stripes would be over here. Maybe I could do a, what if I did a, like Janet is saying, maybe I could just peek a little bit of this orange to break it up, maybe. Like that. Maybe. Okay, Carol likes the shorts fabric. Leah says yes. Does the orange, what does the orange look like? What do you think if I did orange like this in between? And you know, it doesn't even have to be piping. I could just insert a strip in the seam and just have it hang down. So it would actually be going in the other direction. So I could put a strip like here. So let's say this was like this. And then this could be like this, just to break it up a little, maybe. Maybe something like that. What do you think? Oh, Janie is saying no. A little peek of it? No. All right, well, maybe I'll just sew them together straight and straight. Bridget likes the orange. All right, Diane says, I think if you incorporate another fabric, you'll lose wearability with other pieces. Janie says the orange does look good. All right, Janie and Judy are sisters, and they're pitted against each other. We have one no, one yes. Leah says yes. Lay your shorts. Lay your short cord over it to see which you like. Short cord. Oh, like for a piping, are you saying? Like if I made it a piping instead? So if I made like a little piping, it would be more like this. Like a little piping. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. So this is the difficulty with having all of these choices. We have a lot of different things we can do, but it also makes this a really fun pattern to work on. So I think I'm gonna cut this one out straight on the grain. So whether I add something here or not, I don't know yet. We'll see. Mary had another idea of, you know, using a colorful thread to top stitch it. So maybe I'll do that. But I think I will keep it straight and straight. So I am going to save this piece. I'm going to put it with the lower back, and I'm going to put it up here so it does not get messed up. So getting back to this, the one thing I was thinking with this, whoops. Oh, Um, is the cord stretchable? It's not anymore, Jojo, because when I pulled it through to the right side, I completely stretched it to its max, and it's now almost twice as long as it was before I turned it to the right side, so it is not stretchable. So I wouldn't be doing that. I'd have to think of a different way to make a make one if I decide to do a piping. Oh, Victoria's got a good tip to avoid blinkers. Copy pattern to see through the tracing paper. Also, thick paper cut around inside of pattern and measure from shoulder to apex. Move each one around on the fabric. That's a very good tip, Victoria, and that's another reason why you'll notice I work with full left, right side pieces so I can check and see if I have blinkers. I just got so excited to cut out this fabric, I forgot to check. I'll be completely honest with you. But getting back to this, my neckline here, I was wondering, because I'm going to be crisscrossing, maybe I could make one of these the solid blue. Just have that little pink of blue up near my face. And it's such a small area that yes, it would match the shorts. I think if I scroll back, I can see that Tana made a matching set and it felt like a uniform. I know. I have PTSD from my Catholic high school uniform days. It was the matchy, and it was also the running around from staying away from Sister, I think her name was Sister Helen. She'd crack you with a ruler if she saw that you had your skirt rolled up and your knees were showing. So I never want to feel like I have a uniform, but just having maybe a little bit of that blue peeking out on one side and have the rest of this be the this color. I think that could be fun, right? If I had just a little blue showing, I might decide to do that. Oh, Bonnie wants to know, it would match the shorts, but nothing else. Well, that's true. Although yeah, I know. Well, I wonder if I could wear this top with my red shorts. I think I could. See, let me show you. Let me go back to my face camera. Oh, all right. So Bonnie wants to know what a blinker is. All right. So hold on here. All right. So Bonnie wants to know what a blinker is. I'm going to visually do a blinker for Bonnie. A blinker is when you cut something out, a top, and when you wear it, the circle is like right on your bust, like right in the middle of your boob, like this. So when people see you coming, you see the big circle right on your apex, and it's even worse if you've got one on both. So I think I've skirted it a little bit. Fabric weight would be okay. Will the fabric weight be okay together? I think if I used the heavier linen for, okay, so just this tiny little piece up here, right? It's just going to peek up right here, just that little bit. I think that might be okay. I don't know. We'll see. I have to think about it. But my point is, there's a lot of things I can do with this. Oh, Pat says, I'm with Diane. Put down the scraps. I told Bonnie what a blinker was. Bridget was thinking one side could be blue. Bonnie knows what a blinker is now. All right, so that's what I'm doing. So basically, yeah, so basically, what time is it? All right, it's 2 o'clock. I'm not sure I'm ready to commit to any choice yet. So I think what I'm going to do is call it for today, and I will work on, work on it. But I did show you how to design a new center front that makes a V with a crisscross. Maybe I could do like a narrow binding to finish the edges of this, that peak color too. So I've got a lot of things I can try to do with this. And here's the thing, if I decide to cut them all out straight on the same way, I will tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is the seams will disappear like from far away. Now I know that there's different angles of the rib knit, but what happens with a print that's busy, all those seams disappear into the garment. So maybe what I'll do is I'll just sew it together like it's I'll sew it together like it's all going in the same direction, and then the seams will just blend into each other. So I may even just try that. Pat says, if you have not had enough of print, what about the blue on the outer front bodice, and the part that wraps around will go into? If you've not had enough of the print, what about the blue on the outer front bodice, the part that wraps around will go into? Oh, you mean put it on the side front pieces, Pat? So it's almost color blocked. So it's like the print is here and then the blue is off on the sides. I could do that. I could. I'm going to think about it. Yep. But the bottom line is I know I have enough fabric to cut out the rest of the pieces. So I am going to finish this and work on it. I'm going to finish the shorts, and then I will have my husband take a picture of me wearing my outfit so you can see how it looks. So I think that's going to be my plan. But I was really excited to share all of these different things with you. So thank you guys for all of your opinions. I really have them all swirling around in my mind. And yeah, so I'm having a fun class. Tomorrow I have class 2 of efficient workflow for bodice fitting, and we're having a blast. So tomorrow I'll be teaching most of the day from 1 to 5, so that always makes a fun day. And then I have a really exciting cool tool for you next Monday, so be sure to check that out. I'm not going to give you a hint, but it's almost as exciting as the first cool tool I ever did when I did that cool tool when my dad got me that presser foot. So basically be sure to check out Monday's cool tool. It's going to be a really, really good one. I'm very excited about it. And I have a cool tool lined up for the next Monday as well. So I love doing my cool tool videos. And then obviously I will have a Fit Tip Tuesday. And then next week during FabFit Friday, I'm going to show you another more casual pocket, easy pocket that you can do in the front that kind of goes along with the jogger style, which I kind of feel like these longer shorts are kind of like a jogger kind of style. So I have, the fun front pockets for that next week. So I'll have 3 pairs of new shorts. Well, actually 4, because I have my organic cotton printed ones I made. So I'm super excited about my shorts. I haven't made a skirt yet. Maybe we'll be making some skirts later this summer too. That's my other favorite summer pattern. But in any case, I hope you guys enjoyed today's walkthrough. Walk through the expansion of my tee pattern, because when I first made it, I was a skinny mini, and then all I kept having to do was make it bigger and bigger to fit me. So thank you for joining me for that and for all the other little things today. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And yeah, super excited. Oh, Tana says suggestions for tools are helpful for arthritic fingers. You know what? I have something else I'm going to be sharing that makes it easier to cut things coming up in a few weeks. I have to still order that, but I'm very excited about another new thing I'm going to try that has something about it that makes it easier for cutting. So I have two cutting things, so we'll see. But there you go. I'll be sharing that too, so I'm super excited. But anyway, so thank you guys so much for joining me, and I just want to thank each and every one of you for, following along with me, because I'd never get to 50,000 subscribers if I didn't have all of you guys, engaged with me and joining FabFit Friday and watching my content. So I just really appreciate all of you, and I just want you to know that. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again very soon. All right. So, Jojo says it's thank you for your time. First time here, and it was great. Oh, well, thank you for joining me, Jojo. And Carol says, good live, Jen. Thank you. You're entirely welcome. Thank you for coming. All right. I'm going to sign off. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week. All right. Bye.